Hello everyone and welcome to Sabonis. Today I'm going to please all those people who have written asking for a special recipe. And I think this one truly deserves our attention because it's one of the most famous Peruvian dishes and probably the most ordered one in the Peruvian restaurants. Today we're going to make lomo saltado. Yeah, lomo saltado is an iconic Peruvian dish that was born at the end of the 19th century as a result of a cultural fusion. When the Chinese arrived in Peru, mainly through massive immigration starting in 1849, they came to work in agriculture and construction. As part of their work contracts, they demanded to bring with them at least their basic vegetables and spices for cooking. The Chinese discovered that all their vegetables grew easily in Peru, just as they did in China. So they introduced some of their herbs and vegetables into Peruvian agriculture. That is when Peruvian gastronomy merged with Chinese cooking, and what we now know as chifa was born. Chinese food adapted to the Peruvian Chinese style. But new dishes also emerged with new preparation techniques and ingredients brought by the Chinese, like using ginger, soy sauce, and stir-frying at high heat in a wok, combined with Peruvian ingredients like potatoes and yellow chili pepper. And from those combinations, among many other dishes, lomo saltado was born. Now, in this video, we're going to make a variation. A lady smartly asked me, how can I make it if I don't have a wok at home? Okay, and that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. How to make it at home using a regular frying pan. I will say up front, it won't have that spectacular smoky flavor you get from a wok at high heat, but I will show you the techniques and tips to reach its best flavor possible. Either way, it's going to be delicious. So let's start cooking because I'm hungry, and as always, enjoy the video, and at the end I will summarize all the ingredients so you can write them down. First, we will prepare the lomo sauce that gives the dish its signature flavor, and I suggest making separately to really calibrate the taste. In a small jar or glass, mix 100 grams soy sauce, 30 grams oyster sauce, and 30 grams white vinegar. Mix well and set it aside. Now for the vegetables. Cut the tomatoes, remove the pulp, and place it in a bowl that already has about 10 sprigs for fresh cilantro. For lomo saltado, we'll see chunky pieces of tomatoes similar in size to the fries. That gives the dish a balanced presentation. Next, the red onion. Cut it into the pieces about the same size as the tomato. Remove the core and inner layers that are too small. We'll save those with the cilantro stems for later. Put the tomatoes into a different bowl from the onions. At the end, we will use them at different times. Now the yellow chili pepper. We're handling yellow chili pepper always. Wear gloves to avoid accidents. Cut it open, remove the seeds and veins, and slice it into thin strips. Don't save the seeds or veins. That's pure heat. Throw them away. Now for the scallions. Remove the roots and discard them. Then the white part goes into the bowl with the cilantro stems and the green part. Cut it until the leaf begins to separate. Discard the loose tips. Set the green scallions aside separately. Now we have the bowl with onion and yellow chili pepper, the tomatoes, the trimmings bowl with cilantro stems and a small piece of ginger, the green scallions, and chopped cilantro. These are our vegetables for the preparation. Next, we're going to prepare a beef nash. What is a nash? It comes from the French verb nager, meaning to swim. In cooking, it refers to a broth or stock with which ingredients swim, infusing the liquid with their aroma. To make it, we will fry all the trimmings from the cilantro bowl. This releases their flavors. Then add about 400 grams, almost a half a liter, of dark beef broth. Add the fried trimmings to the broth and simmer about 15 minutes over medium heat. 2 minutes before removing from heat, dissolve 2 teaspoons of cornstarch in a small glass of water and add it to the broth to give it some body and thickness. After 2 minutes, remove from heat, strain it, and set it aside. That's our beef nash. Now we're ready for the final step, the lomo saltado itself. And here's where the most people struggle. I don't have a wok. That's normal. A wok isn't a typical household pan. It's designed for high temperature cooking, meaning it can fry and saute in minutes. The flavor really is different because the high heat seals the protein in seconds, leaving it juicy inside, giving you time to cook the vegetables and finish everything tender and flavorful. We will simulate that's the best we can by paying close attention to each step. Here I have 700 grams of beef tenderloin, already cleaned and cut it into large 2-inch cubes. That's about 1.5 pounds of beef. The pieces must be large to mimic the temperature effect of a wok. If you cut them too small, they will overcook and become tough and dry. And remember, good tenderloin should never be overcooked. Start by adding a drizzle of oil to a pan and heat it over high heat. As soon as you see the first lines of smoke, that means the oil is hot enough. Add the beef. Arrange the cubes so they all touch the surface and don't move them until the Maillard reaction happens. That's when they turn dark brown as the amino acids and sugars caramelize, forming that deep flavor crust and sealing the meat. Once browned, flip each cube. Try to get all sides seared as quickly as possible so they stay medium. Immediately remove the beef. You can even place it back in the same bowl it came from. It will be go back into the pan later, so no cross-contamination risk. Leave the pan off the heat for the least few pieces to lower the temperature and avoid splattering. Now, in that same oil full of meat flavor, add the onion and yellow pepper. Let them cook and pick up all that flavor from the bottom of the pan. Add a bit more oil if necessary. Then add the tomatoes together with the beef. Once the onions start to look slightly translucent, return the beef and tomatoes to the pan. Stir a bit and immediately pour into the lomo sauce mixture we prepared earlier. Let the sauce heat up for about 15 seconds until it bubbles a bit. Then add the green scallions. Now is the moment to season with a little black pepper and some chopped cilantro. Finally, add just enough beef nash to create a rich, juicy sauce. And we're ready to plate. With clean hands, place a small cup mold of white rice on the plate. Arrange the French fries alongside matching the height of the rice. Then spoon the lomo saltado over with plenty of sauce and chine. Finally, add a few cilantro leaves for color and decoration. And that's it, lomo saltado, made in a regular frying pan, not a wok. Now, let's taste it. Perfect. Perfect flavor, perfect texture. It's not the same like a wok. The wok is more smoky. This is awesome. It's perfect, lomo saltado. Let's recap the ingredients for 2 servings. For the lomo sauce, 100 grams soy sauce, 30 grams oyster sauce, 30 grams white vinegar. For the vegetables, 1 large red onion, 2 Roma tomatoes, 1 Peruvian yellow chili pepper, 3 scallions, cilantro, a small piece of ginger. For the beef nash, 400 grams dark beef broth, 2 teaspoons cornstarch. For the lomo saltado preparation, 700 grams beef tenderloin, lomo sauce, vegetables, and beef nash. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and try making it at home. Don't let the lack of a pan or tool stop you from cooking whatever you love. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Write your comments below telling me how it turned out. Ask your question or tell me what special recipe you'd like me to make next. See you in the next video, and remember what Nonna Saboni used to say. The art of cooking is an act of love. Serve on every plate. Arrivederci!